I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I am here with three of my incredible clients from Mama to CEO, and we're going to be talking about their success stories, how they did it, the advice they have for you, all about their journey. And I am so excited for you to hear this episode and hear their insights. So let's start out with everybody telling us a little bit about who you are, what you do, who you help. Suzanne, you're up first.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Dayton. I run a virtual executive assistant agency and do marketing strategy, and I mostly help coaches grow their businesses, save time, and increase their productivity.
I love it. Nicole.
Hey everybody, my name is Nicole Simonin, and I help women over 40 lose weight for the last time. No pills, no potions, no crazy diets, nothing like that. No foods are off limits. We do 3 simple steps and how to do that. And it's fueling your body, move your body, and then managing the mind drama around losing weight.
So good. Love it. Danielle, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle Tino, a certified life coach, a mom of 3, a member of the Catholic faith, and I'm also a recovered perfectionist. I help overwhelmed moms find the peace and balance that they want so badly so they can finally love their life as much as they love their kids. And what this looks like is I help moms who are just like how I was, overwhelmed, full of resentment, guilty, and feeling inadequate a lot of the time. But I overcame these struggles and continue to conquer my goals through the concepts and tools through life coaching, that it's now my mission to help other moms use those same tools to up-level their life.
I love it. This is so good. I think we have such an interesting spread of different types of businesses in Mama to CEO in general, and you are such a good picture of what that looks like. All right, so I would love to hear now from each of you where you were before Mama to CEO. What was going on in your business? What were you feeling? What were you thinking? Let's kind of get a picture of like what was going on before you joined and why you made that decision to join. Nicole, you're up first.
Well, last year with COVID, I was doing fantastic before COVID because I was a personal trainer. I had people coming into my house to coach or train them. I had done a little coaching as I was going through personal training my clients. But when COVID hit, I was like, no one's coming to my house. You're not coming in. And so I had to pivot. And I know, Samantha, you and I were in a group, and I had so much mind drama in that mastermind. So I was a hot mess last year. And I know we had kind of met in that group, but I didn't know really much about you or anything. And I think because we're Facebook friends, you must have posted something about the 2021 design. Is that what it's called?
Yes, Design 2021.
And I did the week, and I was like, this, like, I think you had said it in the group before, like, what is your perception of you versus what you actually are? So my perception of you was like very quiet and demure and like, I don't know. And not to say that you're not, but like when I joined the group for that free design group, I was like, oh my gosh, she's really cool. She loves Friends. Like, who doesn't, if you like Friends, I got to be friends with you. But I think the tipping point in that was like, you said something about like being a weirdo, like you like unique people. And I was like, and I remember texting you or putting it in there, like, I want to be a weirdo too.
Yes.
And so I joined Mama to CEO, and honestly, I had such a shift initially because I was such a hot mess before, and I was in such a weird like mind drama, like prison almost, that your approach just was so freeing, and just like I just felt like the shackles had been taken off, and it was so cool. And like, I mean, I made a return on my investment in less than 2 weeks. So for me, it was like a huge shift initially when I signed up.
So amazing. I love hearing that. All right, Danielle.
Well, similar to Nicole, I the shift for me happened at Design 2021 as well. But just kind of to back up, I certified as a life coach in September of 2019, and I decided to constrain my focus with the entrepreneurial part of what the certification offers for 6 additional months. I do think that there's a lot of value in constraining. And I saw that after that was over, I was just kind of now on my own and really just trying to focus in on all those tactical things that go along with starting a business, which I did, right? Where I was trying to focus on building your email list, started a podcast and getting your opt-ins. And then I felt like I was missing the actual building of the coaching skills. So it was at that time, right before I joined Mama to CEO, or a few months before, where Jody Moore, another coach who is a mentor of mine, offered an advanced certification where I could really hone in on my coaching skills. And there I got a lot of practice, like close to 100 coaching sessions. And so then I was at this point where, okay, I had this business idea of how to start on the kind of tactical stuff. And then my confidence soared and my coaching skills soared from having that. And then when that was over, it was back to, okay, now you're on your own again. But I'm such a collaborator and I love like working with teams. So it was December now of 2020. And that's when you offered Design 2021, which it's so fun that timing was like, okay, who do I want to work with now? Who can really, like in this fresh start of this new year, starting with goals. And I just loved your simplicity of it all. I am a highly organized person and I just love keeping things simple. That's why constraint is one of my favorite tools to use. But the timing of being where I wanted to get coaching and work on the just the business side. And then of course I'm a mama. And so your program totally fit the bill. And I signed on in December of 2021 or 2020.
Fun.
Yeah.
I love 2 Design 2021 stories back to back. All right, Suzanne.
So I'm a third. So
The third story.
So, yeah.
Everybody now is like, wait, how do I get Design 2021? We are going to do it again, Design 2022 in December. So stay tuned, everyone. It's coming.
It was so good. So I have a little bit of a different story. I actually pivoted businesses. So I first found you when you had your Facebook group, and I was trying to be a travel agent. I was a mom. I had a full-time job. I knew I wanted something different for myself and my life and my lifestyle, and my kids are young. They're only 4 and 6 right now. And so I wanted to be available more. I was working, 8+ hours a day, plus back and forth to commute. And I was trying the travel agency thing. And I remember one time when you were launching Mama to CEO, you had said something about, finding a profitable business. And I had realized that I was going down all these rabbit holes that a lot of us do. I was trying to build a course for traveling. I was trying to build all of these things, not selling to anybody, just doing the typical, trying all the things, weren't working. And so I stopped actually for a while. I stopped in October and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I saw the ads coming up on my feed. And I think I was getting the emails too for Design 2021. And I actually was an executive assistant. That was my job. And I was like, wait a minute, there's a whole virtual industry for this. Maybe I could take my skills, and I have my whole background's in marketing. That's what my degree's in. And I was like, maybe I can take these skill sets and put them into a business. And I think confidence and time were 2 of my biggest obstacles starting out. And so when we did Design 2021, you had us write that letter to ourselves. And I still have my letter. I haven't read it yet because I really want to wait until December. But I just know I'm going to blow my mind already from what I even wrote in that, because I think we wrote some goals and stuff in there. But yeah, that was a huge turning point for me. And so as soon as I did Design 2021, I was like, I literally had made $0 at that point in my business. I had started the concept, but I didn't really have any traction or any clients. So I made the investment with $0 in my business. And similar to Nicole, I made my investment back within the first, I think it was like 45 days or something, and then plus. And so, yeah, it was a really pivotal point for me. And I think really also knowing that like, just because I tried one thing and it didn't work, didn't mean that I was a failure at business in general and I couldn't do something else. So.
Yeah, I love that point because I think a lot of people think if you have failed, then it means that it's not going to work for you, that you're not meant to do business. And I think when we look at successful entrepreneurs, like the richest entrepreneurs out there, they all have failed at so many more things than they have succeeded at. And so I think seeing willingness to fail and continuing to take action as the mark of an entrepreneur instead of the reason you can't be one is so important. I am really curious why you felt confident enough to take the leap when you didn't have money, because a lot of people think that they need to earn the money first and you didn't. So what was your thought process there?
Well, I did at the time have a full-time job. So I think that felt like a little bit of a cushion. And actually, I think I went through a confidence issue again when I left that job and really put all of my eggs into my business and was like, now I was like, oh, this is real. This is who I am. And this is what I do. And when I introduce myself to people, this is what I do. And so I think that was a little bit of it, but I also in my head kind of had already allocated all of that income, right? Like that was already spent on childcare and things like that. And so I think investing in my business and myself before I literally had a dollar came from a lot of the beliefs I built up in Design 2021 about my ability to make it happen and committing to the idea that I was going to. So not just thinking I was going to sign up and the program was going to give me everything it needed to give me, but knowing that I had to put into it to get out of it what I needed to get out of it. So I think, yeah, really going through that week and building up those beliefs and confidence in myself helped me take that leap.
I love that. I think that trust in yourself to follow through is so big. And I think for a lot of us, we have these stories of like past failures and that kind of thing that feel like evidence against being able to trust ourselves. But we also have so much more evidence of things we have followed through on. Like as moms, we follow through on some of the most uncomfortable commitments we could ever imagine. So we actually really do have a strong muscle of follow through if we choose to look for it. So I love that you saw that and tapped into that. So inspiring. So Suzanne, tell me a little bit about after joining, what have been the results so far? And of course, I want to hear about money made. And I also want to hear about the other things. I think something that people are usually surprised by in Mama to CEO and love is all of the personal growth and relationship changes and that kind of thing. So I'd love to hear like the full picture of what you've created.
Yeah, so as of this recording, I've created $53,000 in my business and am on track to make $100K this first year in business, which is, again, I can't wait to read my letter because I don't think I've definitely put that in there. I was probably a reach goal for me. But aside from that, when you hit on relationships, that was really big for me. So in Mama to CEO, you have an entire section on being a mom and being, a person basically. And I remember actually saving that till last. So when I joined Mama to CEO, I binge listened to everything. Like I was in the car, I was in the shower, just listening to everything all the time. And I saved that one for last because I thought, oh, I don't need that. I'm here for the business stuff. And I remember listening to that. And the one that really struck me was the belief in yourself before your spouse has it. And the support that you have to, they're not required to give you the support before you believe in yourself. And that was actually something that was kind of a bit of a touch point for us because not that he didn't believe in me, he never said that or anything like that, but it's scary, right? To take this big leap from this really, I'm getting paid for a 9 to 5, there's no risk there, to creating my own business and having all of this risk and all of the benefits that come with it, all the flexibility that we now have. But I was creating these thoughts in my mind about what he felt about that and how he viewed that. And when I listened to that and I started to really think, it's not his job to believe in me or to support me before I believe in myself, it totally shifted how my conversations with him. And it also actually gave me more confidence in my business, because I was like, I want this to succeed. And I want it to succeed not just for me, but for him and our family. And so I'm going to, make this happen, whether or not he feels secure yet. I'm going to work until he feels secure in it as well. And that was really a big shift for not just me and my business, but also our relationship around my business and what I was doing and trying to do and wanting to do. And so that was huge. I loved that. And the other things for me were time. So time was a huge thing. I thought, I have 2 young kids, a full-time job. Like, how in the world am I going to join this program and start this business? Where am I going to find the time? And really, I think you talk about in time redesigned and you have so many things on time, but it's really thinking about, I stopped thinking I don't have the time and I started thinking I have plenty of time. And every time I still go through that, when I'm thinking about, oh, I just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I just slow down. I binge watch again all the time stuff from Mama to CEO or listen to it. And I just really think about, okay, how am I utilizing my time? What am I doing with these free 15 minutes I have? Could I be doing something that in my mind I think takes an hour, but really only takes 15 minutes? And so that was a huge shift for me. And especially actually running the type of business I run, being an executive assistant for multiple 6-figure plus coaches, and helping them grow their businesses, I have to really be good with my time. And so that's been really, really huge for me personally, as well as, with my clients, but then also with my kids, because I noticed that I'm more present with my kids because I'm thinking about time differently. I'm not thinking I don't have enough time. So when I'm with my kids, I got to be working on my business or thinking about my business. I'm like, oh, I have plenty of time, which means I can actually be present with my kids right now. I can go to the pool for 2 hours with them because I'll have 2 hours later to do whatever it is I need to do when they're content and we've had that relationship time together. And now they just want to relax and I can have a couple, 2 hours or so to work on my business. So I really love the views on time and how time is really something in our minds that we just kind of create, which is a wild thought, but it's really true. And that's really been a game changer for me. And I think the final one for me, there's a ton, but I don't want to take up all the time. So the biggest last one for me was, you talk about this waterfall method. So when I thought about my first goal, and I don't even remember exactly what it was, but let's say it was 5 clients or something. And it just felt so overwhelming. Like, how am I going to talk to 5? I want to sign 5 people. So I want to talk to 20 plus people. And I just felt so overwhelmed. And when you popped into Mama CEO and you did just a quick, I think it was a 10-minute thing on here's a waterfall model, just think about one person at a time and really think there's somebody out there right now that wants to work with me, that is waiting for me. That was a game changer, because then I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to talk to 20 some odd people. I just have to go out and serve and find that one person that I know is out there waiting for me. And so the waterfall model really, I think, helped me with my confidence, and also took the pressure off of having to do it all right now. And I really used that to kind of propel myself forward.
So good. I love all of this. Thank you so much. I'm like, wow, this is my whole life's work being taught by someone else. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love it. You saved my life.
I'm so happy. It's just my pleasure to have this kind of impact. And I want to know, what's next for you? Where are you going?
Yeah. So I think I commented on Mama CEO. I really want to, get into the mastermind because I am really trying to figure out what's next. I feel like with this first year, things going so well so quickly, I haven't really taken the time to say, okay, what is next? I kind of have an agency model right now with my business, and I love that. But I also know that I love being one-on-one with my clients. And so I don't want to grow that piece too big. So I kind of want to grow the second piece, which is the marketing strategy part. And I think kind of use more of a coaching model on that, where I just kind of do sessions. But that's kind of where I am right now. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm thinking, is that I'll have a basis of the virtual executive assistant agency, where we do the execution of the strategy and support our clients in growing and scaling, but then also have this marketing strategy piece that is a lot more scalable, especially when it comes to time, because when you do have, even with an agency model, time is really still limited, and so it can only go so far. So that's my goal and thought right now.
I love it. So good. I think this really is kind of like the two phases in business. Like, you have that first phase where you're like, how do I make money? Like, consistently make money, whatever that might look like. Like, how can I just turn on that faucet in my business? And then once you figured that out, then it's like, wait, how do I control this flow? How do I like continue to have it flow like this without like maxing out my time, hustling like crazy? How do I scale it to make more money? And that's kind of the next phase that you work on solving like continually. Like, I'm still in that phase. I'm never going to be out of that phase. There's not like a destination unless you decide like the max income I ever want to earn is this, and then you just keep replicating that same thing. I think most of us have a desire to grow.
Yeah, totally. That's
so
exactly.
Exciting. Well, good. The mastermind is where you belong.
Yes, I know.
Can't wait. All right, Nicole, tell me all about what has happened since you've joined.
I am consistently making 5K months, which I am super excited about, because it was funny because before this, I was looking through some of my journals and my self-coaching, and I had put in there that I was going to be one of Samantha's 5K people, because in the beginning of 2021, you want, I forget how many people you wanted, 100 5K
100.
women.
Yes.
Yeah. So count me in on that.
Love it. So good.
I just feel like, I've been in business since 2006. So I am not your target market. I'm an older mom. I'm going to be 48 in a month.
You are my target market. There is no right age of the child.
I know, but like my kids are teenagers, so I'm not in the like diaper phase, but I wish I had you'd have to be older than me, but like, I wish that you were available.
Yeah, I was in college.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you were like in diapers still. But I wish I had that going through, because like, I didn't know what to do back then. It was like, and I didn't know how to create clients. They just showed up, like, and so now going through your program, it's like, I'm so much calmer, because I was a hustler. I mean, like I remember when I first joined, I had done a podcast every single day in November, and you were like, no.
So I shut that down real fast.
So for me to go from hustler to like calm, and like really, like my favorite takeaway from this group, I have a couple, but like the 2 streams that you talk about, that was a game changer for me, because I was in such that hustle mode and doing all the things, but not really having the right momentum behind it, meaning like, what energy is it coming from? What thoughts am I having? That kind of thing. I was just doing. And so when I joined, and there was just such a big shift about like just being calm, and like just this freedom, like of like, the other thing is I'm a rule follower. And when you were like, no, you get to make your own rules, I was like, wait a minute, what? How does that work? So, yeah, I just feel like I'm just in such a different place. I've done so much growth over the past 6 months. I'm like not the same business person that I was 6 months ago. So definitely the 2 streams were definitely helpful for me. The other part too is, in the past, I would go from like, I'd have an emotional like meltdown and would shut down for like 2 weeks and everything would stop. And then you gear back up, and like, there are moments still, cause I'm a work in progress, but there's still moments where I like pause, but it's not like 2 weeks. It's like, I get my stuff together, I get coached, I go in the group, whatever, and then keep moving on. So the momentum is adding up. And I think Suzanne, like you were talking about, like, you know, it's a momentum of the months. It's not like focusing on that one thing. It's really an accumulative process of the popcorn popping, you know, and getting the momentum going and getting the heat started. The other aspect I love is the group. I love the Facebook group. I love that if I have an issue, I can just jump in there, and chances are, Samantha, you are there to answer or help coach or whatever. And if for some weird reason you're not, you have your monitors, and the girls, the ladies in the group, I absolutely adore. I love all of them because it's such a like open group. Like, we're very supportive of everybody. Everybody's always cheering each other on. There's no like cattiness. You know, Danielle, you can appreciate this because we were both professional ballet dancers. That's a whole different aspect, you know, in a different world. So coming into like a very supportive group and just knowing that you can jump on there and get your questions answered, and we all have the same mind drama. It's just in a different flavor of the week. So yeah, I'm much calmer. I'm much more consistent. It's just all good. It's this feeling of just like, like I got this. It's all good.
Yeah, so good. I feel like that is the shift that matters most, is that kind of like calm. I understand how to create what I want. Like, I know what's happening here. Like you were saying before, you have this feeling like you don't know where clients come from. They just show up, or maybe they don't, and we'll find out. That ability to see how you create it, I think, is the most valuable thing you can have in your business. So I love that you have that. You have that calm. So good. I definitely remember when you first joined, there was some drama, but we made it through. Drama. That's what the program's for. So good. Okay, so where are you going? What's next for you?
Oh, where am I going? I want to be just continuing to be consistent and just to kind of take things as it comes. So I am still going for the 5K every month and just propelling forward and getting coached. That's really my goal, is to just, I love the one-on-one coaching. I learned so much. Because like I said, I've been doing the fitness and the nutrition for most of my career, but to add in that mindset piece, it's such a game changer. It's like, and just working with a client, I just adore doing one-on-one because you have that personal connection. So I am going to continue that until I'm ready to scale again, because, you know, I started that group, which we can talk about in a coaching session.
I love it. The coaching never ends. And this is why this is a lifetime program, because you will have all kinds of opportunities.
My goal is to get into the mastermind and scale correctly. And so that is in the future as well.
I love it. So, so good. So we are talking about what you've created, what your results have been. All right, Danielle.
Yes. Well, I have to first reiterate everything that Suzanne and Nicole said. It's totally similar, right? And that's another thing in talking about the community. What I love is because when you get in there, you realize that we are all going through the same things, right? We have the same mind drama, and we're, for the most part, you know, in the same kind of stages in our motherhoods in life, and just really kind of have these same desires, right? The same desire that we want to be, you know, have this business and make money and make an impact and just help others because we've been helped, right? Like, coaching has changed our lives. And so we just, you know, want to make an impact changing other lives. So the community, it's really fun to be able to go in there and just realize, one, you're not alone, you know, and two, that you know you're going to find somebody who knows exactly what you've gone through and have felt. And also they're going to show you what you can't see, because we have human brains where we're in our own way, right? The group is really great, helps us get out of it. After joining Mama to CEO, really, you know, you have a transformation in just making a decision and a commitment. And that's for anything, just not this coaching or group work. I love to point that out to my clients too, that you will have transformation in just deciding. Because I know from the time that Design 2021 ended until the Mama to CEO, like till I was showing up for the coaching and stuff, you already are watching the modules, which for me was wrapping Christmas presents since it was back in
I
December.
love that.
Right? But I shifted automatically just because of the investment and going all in on myself. And then your goal of wanting to sign what Nicole said about having 100 women, I was like, that sounds fun. And that's exactly what I've done consistently, had 5K months. And the biggest part of Mama to CEO for me, what I've loved is the CEO part. That whole identity shift is everything. My husband is a CEO of a company, so now there's 2 of us in the house, which is super fun.
It. Oh.
But I've been a serial entrepreneur, so I've had lots of what I used to call businesses, but now, I've come to learn that they were really just kind of like the hobby on steroids, right? And I did make money, and I guess the best thing about it is that I had this notion early on in life to just, why not make money at what you love to do, right? So as Nicole mentioned, my first career, I was a professional ballet dancer. And of course, like I got paid to do what I actually absolutely love to do. But after that, I had several different entrepreneurial kind of endeavors that made money. And going into Mama to CEO, I knew that coaching could fall into one of those before, where it became just something that wasn't like what I believed in myself is like a true business. Like that word legitimate comes up a lot. So I really liked the CEO module, where I just wanted to step into that identity right away, and to know that you can be the CEO of your own business. And for me, it's super important that I'm also learning how to manage my mind in order to feel balanced, that I am also showing up fully as a mom and a friend and a daughter. And so that CEO part, in addition to the community, has been amazing. And my favorite, I have to mention the popcorn effect as well, because last year I really, you can do all the tactical things like I mentioned and all the work, and you can come and your brain, your lower brain will sneakily go in and say, but is it working? And I'm not seeing those results. But when you were able to articulate it in the popcorn effect, as that all of that work was the heating up of the popcorn, and that helped me become into this mindset that no, it is working, it just hasn't started to pop yet. And then of course, that's exactly what happened. I can look back and say, the year before, I showed up consistently through emails, through weekly podcasts, through, posting. And then it all just started to pop in once the investment into Mama to CEO, and you have that support and you have that identity shift. And then that's when, the clients came and it worked. So I love that. And I can't help but bring up the being fully present for your clients. I really think that's one of my superpowers. I know how to just hold space and just really fully, be present for the client who is in front of me. But you present it in such a calm way. I'm really attracted to your calmness, Samantha, again, and the simplicity of it all. But that one thing, right, that you mentioned, that's all you need to do, is just show up and really be present for your clients, which was also a beautiful gift that's come out of Mama to CEO for me.
So good. So how much have you made since you joined?
Since I joined, I've made a little over $38,000.
So good.
And I have to mention that you have a set a goal in your design, whatever year it is, right? When you're listening to this. But I went back and looked at that, and I think I mentioned this on a coaching session with you recently, but I also love to want to have fun and to keep things nice and easy and light, because I was that overwhelmed mom who felt like never had enough time, was doing all the things, placed all the blame on all of the outside, like if this boss would only do this. And I'm also one of those, you call them the sandwich generations. So I have three kids, but then also my parents, they live across the street and they're in their 80s. So I kind of like help take care of them. And then I have three kids, and we were just doing all the things, right? Renovating the house, getting the kids all the activities. At that time, I was working this part-time job, and I'm trying to move my parents in their house. It was just all too much, but I was blaming all my outside circumstances. But this overwhelm, I now know, is literally just a feeling that comes from your thoughts. And so I'm really passionate about helping moms, but I like to do it in a keep a balanced. This is what most of my moms and clients and people who are looking to live a balanced life in all the areas is where my specialty is. And just going back to their question that you mentioned, last December, for my goal, knowing that I was going to be a part-time one-on-one coach, I set the goal because of 2020, my revenue was $4,500, which again, for someone who constrained and was also working on my coaching skills and doing all the tactical things, I still managed to make $4,500 and have a few clients. So it was a stellar year. So going into 2021, I was really focused, like, okay, now I'm all in. Now it's like official business. I've got Mama to CEO. I've got regular coaching. I've got a community. So I thought it would be fun to set the goal that in 2020, I made 4,500. So in 2021, I'd love to be able to say I made 45,000.
That is so done.
So fun. And yes, it is so done. So I'm at 38 plus right now. Here we are at the end of July. And so it's as good as done, which if you told Danielle of last year at this time, I would be so excited to be where I am right now. And then I give a lot of credit that to Mama to CEO.
I love this. I love how you said, like at the beginning of this year, you were all in. Like you just decided I'm going all in. And I think that is really the thing that is true for all three of you that I've just noticed. Like you just decided things are changing now. Like this is the pivotal moment. And I really think that that's important to kind of have that shift of like something is changing right now. It's not like I'm just going to buy this thing and find out what happens. It's like, nope, this is the thing that's going to work. This is when I'm going all in. That's so good. So where are you going now? What's next for you?
Well, very soon I'll be hitting that yearly goal. So there'll be lots of celebration there. And what I have learned through this year also is that what's next is more magic, because you can start out with a plan, right? Which is always great, and start out with a goal, but you must leave room for the magic. I did not expect several things. And, even like the fact that I'm on the podcast right now, that is like, it's so magical, right, ladies? It's so fun because that wasn't in my, my total plan. And so I also was hired by another coach, and I didn't see that coming. And that is allowing me to coach in a group setting, because my business is one-on-one, and really raise my skills there, because I just want to make a greater impact. But I have really learned that you can, you can plan and plan and plan, but if you don't leave room for the magic. So to say what's next, there's a part of me that says, well, I'm definitely hitting my goal and I'm definitely going to surpass it. And that's going to be so fun. But on the other end, I'm going to say, I don't know, because I'm leaving room for the magic.
Yes. I get this question so much from people who are exceeding their goal for the year, on track to exceed it, that kind of thing. And they're always like, well, what should I do? Because I'm obviously going to pass that goal. Should I raise it? And I think there's so much value in enjoying it being easy. This happened to me last year. I started out the year with a goal of 400,000, and I think I hit that in May or June. And so it was obvious that that was going to happen, because it did. Halfway through the year. And I just kind of sat with, enjoying the ride and the magic, like you said, to just see, let's see where this goes. Let's see how, first of all, how quickly I can do it, and then how much past it I can do without any kind of like attachment. I think a lot of times when we have a goal that's then like obviously going to happen easily, we want to move that goalpost, and then we just always keep ourselves in this place where we're like not achieving and having to strive, instead of being in a place where we can just enjoy, wow, that thing that used to feel impossible was super possible, super easy for me to do. That just feels good, and it's okay to feel good in our businesses. So I love that you're doing that. And I agree about leaving room for the magic. I think that's an ingredient in building our business for sure.
I needed that coaching right there on enjoying the moment.
Good. I'm glad.
Like moving the goalpost.
Yeah. Sit with it. Enjoy it. You all have incredible businesses, and you've accomplished so much this year. It's just amazing to see. Okay.
So fun.
It is. I want to know your advice for people who have either like just joined or are about to join the program. This is coming out this week, and enrollment's going to be open. And people may be listening and like either have just joined or are just about to join. And I would just love to hear the advice you have. So Danielle, what thoughts do you have for them?
I have to come from a coaching side, so I have to ask questions, right? If somebody is deciding, this is what I tell all my mamas, you do have the answer inside of you. You actually know. If you just stop and pause and ask yourself, do I want to join Mama to CEO? And if your answer is no, that's okay. And then focus on something else, right? Just decide and move on. But if your answer is yes, it's probably your mind is telling you, yes, but I don't have enough money. Yes, but I don't have enough time. Or even, yes, I don't think I'm capable, or I'm not like them, which is, it's totally a thought that I would just love to dispute, because we are so much more alike than we are different. And there's nothing extra special that any of us have. And when we can look at, the same, like there's nothing that Samantha has that I don't have, and she's making millions, right? So I would just advise those who are on the fence and thinking about it to not to go within and to ask themselves the question. And if the answer is yes, and then take that but and refocus it, redirect your brain. Say, how can I find the money? How could I find the time? How am I capable? How am I just like them? And then have your brain go working for you to find the answer. And then I also just want to add this quote that I heard the other night. So right now we're in the Olympics, right? The Olympics are going on. And I don't know what commercial it was. I don't remember, but I did write it down. And the quote that I heard them say was, you don't have to be amazing to start, but you have to start to be amazing. And for anyone out there, that is the thing. Like, we are all amazing, right? And we think that we have to have our ducks in a row and everything perfectly lined up before we just go for it. And it's the opposite. It's the opposite. You just need to go for it, and then start and take one step and another one and another one. And you will just magnify your amazingness because it's already there.
I love that. Anyone who doubts that should go listen to early episodes of this podcast and see what I sounded like, what I showed up as in the world when I started this business. A lot of my clients were like, yeah, your voice is different on the podcast. And I think it just shows, like, I showed up messy. I was willing to just show up as I was. I totally love that quote and agree with that, and agree with the idea that we're all the same. I think that's the biggest lesson I have learned being a coach. I started coaching in 2015, And the one thing that I've learned is like all of our inner voices tell us the same uncreative, mean things. Like all the shameful secrets that you think you have that are like these mean thoughts, everybody has them. Like everybody's brain says you're not enough, you're stupid, you're whatever. And it's just all lies. So,
And it doesn't have to be a problem.
yeah, it's not a problem. I love it. That's one of the Samantha isms. We need to create some merch, like mugs and stuff with these quotes.
Totally.
Great advice. Okay, Nicole, what is your advice for people who are joining this week, thinking about joining?
I totally agree with Danielle. So, but honestly, I feel like we all kind of stay in this little comfort bubble that we all are super comfortable in, and we're just happy and content. You know, as a coach, your primitive brain is like in heaven because it's like, no, we don't want to leave our little bubble. But you don't grow if you don't make yourself get uncomfortable. So I think if you're scared of it, I say go for it. Like if you're really scared and having like heart palpitations, it probably means you need to do it. The beauty I think of this program is that you get to jump in and you can like I think Danielle said, like I binge watched all the videos really fast, but you don't have to do that. You can take your time. They're short, you know, and concise, and they get right to the point, which I love. There's no fluff. So, but you can pace yourself. It's a lifetime membership, so you can go as fast or as slow as you want. I would say, you know, again, going back to me starting my business in 2006, like I was by myself, and I was by myself for probably most of my journey. And there's just some comfort in knowing that like you can talk to somebody, you can bounce ideas off of different people, and just having that support that you need. I say go for it. The other thing too is like you get what you put into it. So I hope it's okay to say the A word. Is it okay, Samantha?
It is.
Okay. But like, so like when I talk to my people, if you're going to do a half-assed job at it, you're going to get half-assed results. So like, you got to be all in. You got to jump in and and learn to swim, and you'll be fine. But I think the biggest thing people have is like, should I do it? Should I do it? You know, and like, just, if you're afraid, go towards the fear, see what happens, because you'll wind up growing.
Yeah. I think that fear, like you talked about, like the heart palpitations, like that fearful feeling, I think that is the sign of like, this is where your growth is. And you will create so much in results by chasing that feeling. Like every time you find that feeling, that is the step to take. And it feels terrible. Like it doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
Courage
and we're taught
sounds great, but it's not.
yeah, and we're taught to play small, you know, like not to get on a women's kick, but we're taught to be small for women. We're not supposed to talk and do all that. And I say run, run towards the fear.
Yes. Notice that feeling, run directly into it. Continue to do that until you have reached your goal, and then set the next goal and do the same thing. Yeah, that's how you do it. I love that advice. All right, Suzanne.
Yeah, so I grew up. I went to school and got a business degree, and I feel like you're kind of taught to do business alone. Like you're either corporate exec alone, or you're, you know, in your career path and it's just you. And business isn't actually meant to be done alone. It's, I don't want to say impossible, but really hard and stressful. And even though we all have our own businesses, we actually aren't doing it alone. And I think, you know, it's been hit on multiple times, but the community is huge. And if nothing else, if you just join Mama CEO for the community, it will change your life. And again, maybe it'll be business, maybe it'll be relationships, and maybe it'll be both. And then I would say the other thing is start before you think you're ready. Because when you invest in yourself before you think you're ready to invest in yourself, that act alone propels you forward in ways that you could never do by yourself, or plan to do, or prepare to do. And you don't really even realize it's happening until you've again, hit your goal or, made your money back or whatever it is. And I think that fear that you guys were just talking about of taking that leap, investing in yourself, whether you've made $1 or not in your business before, and then saying, whoa, I just did that. So now now I'm going to actually make that worthwhile, will get you to where you want to be. And I think, obviously all the mindset work in Mom and the CEO, I don't want to say guarantees, but I feel like if you do it, if you really, really open up your mind to it and say, how can I think about my time differently as a mom? How can I approach my life differently as a mom? You will benefit and you will get everything you need out of the program.
Yeah. I think being coachable is like the only thing you need to bring into that commitment. Like, is your mind open to seeing things in a different way? If so, you will succeed.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's really, for me, I never considered myself closed-minded, but I never realized how much I was limiting my thoughts. And, it wasn't until listening to others getting coached, going through the modules, and it all had started before that because I was following you and reading what you were writing, and I just started to think about things differently. And I think that's, exactly what really, helps you take that leap and be successful, even when you don't really know that you can be yet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So good. All right. Are there any other things that any of you wanted to talk about that we didn't?
I just love the idea of having a business bestie. I love that, like another Samanthaism that you have, but I think it's so true. I've kind of found that, and I have one just through the agency that I've been kind of building that I work with, and it helps. And the community too, like part of my growth has come from that. And so I think that's a big thing when you join a community and you find those people that are like-minded that you didn't even realize were out there. It's huge.
I love that. So good.
I just want to reiterate to moms that they're worth it. We spend a lot of money sending our kids to camp, right? And then, our husbands go away to conferences and things like that. And us mamas need to do something that's for us, for ourselves. And just to know that, that we're so worth it.
Yes. I've noticed that. Like, it is so easy for all of us to spend on all these other things. And the people that I've talked to who have been like, yes, I want to join, but like we're spending on all these other things, but like none of it is for them. It's all
Right.
for other people. And I think what's been so good to see is how well, first of all, investing just for you, just to feel good is enough. But what I've also seen is marriages changed, family dynamics changed, relationships with kids changed. And that's a very unexpected benefit of the program. Not to mention, when you're making a lot more money, what you're able to provide for the family changes a lot as well. So many benefits.
I hear back from moms all the time that they want to be an example to their kids, right? Like that's what they say. But then they are showing up as they're yelling or something like not. And I'm like, right. So invest in yourself, right? Invest in feeling better. And then guess what happens? You show up as the mom you want, and then your family benefits.
Yes.
It's just a reframe, a way of looking at it.
Yeah. I just wrote an email. I think it's coming out on Friday of this week about like our kids are watching, and are the things that we're doing matching what we want them to do, what we're telling them we want for them? Like, are we really modeling that ourselves as well? Because that matters so much more than what we say.
Exactly.
When I was earlier in my business, didn't have you, Samantha, but I remember feeling like the mom guilt of like doing the stuff and kind of ignoring the kids or whatever they were doing. And I remember hearing someone say that basically, like, what if your kids are looking at you as like the CEO, as the mom who's running the business? And what if that's the best thing that they can see? Like, rather than like mom's not here, looking at, the example of what is possible for your kids.
Yeah, I think it's so good. Like, think about the message we send when we're building a business and chasing after our dreams and making them happen. I think that is just so powerful for our kids to see that example instead of like the typical narrative of like, you have to pick one or the other, you can't have both, or that's too idealistic to chase your dreams. Like all these like things that seem sensible, but are really just ways to stay small.
6-year-old already helps me with like client stuff that we have, when we send packages for them or whatnot. And she calls them her clients, and it's so cute.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and it's awesome because I just feel like her mind is already thinking like, oh, I could have my own thing versus like I have to be part of somebody else's thing. And it's fine either way, whatever she ends up wanting. But I just love the idea that I never really had that thought growing up, which I think is why it took so much more for me to get there myself. But it's, I love being able to give that to her at such a young age.
So good. All right. Any other thoughts?
Kind of piggybacking on what Suzanne said, as she's talking, I'm like, yeah, my kids are watching me do stuff that is scary and hard and vulnerable and embarrassing and nerve-wracking. And they're watching me not only survive it, but then thrive from it. And as I just brought up wanting to be an example right there, I just thought like, that's what I just kind of came to that conclusion. That is what I'm totally being an example for them right now, that it's okay to do hard and scary things. And in fact, that's the way.
What I was going to say, it's kind of on a different vein of like, again, when I was starting my business, I always looked for all like the tactics of like, here's how to do an email list. Here's how to do a funnel. Here's how to do a YouTube video and all the like stuff. And, I mentioned I was like an A-line girl, very much action, action, action. And I think that a lot of people think that that's what they should be doing. And coming into this group and the coaching and the mentors that I've had over the past couple of years, like understanding that that's not what brings in clients. That's not what the real stuff is. That's like the superficial fluff stuff. But really kind of honing in on like, everything that we're talking about, like what, Danielle was just saying about being vulnerable and being authentic and all that stuff. That's the important stuff. Like all the other stuff will fall in place. But I think that's what you get. I love the mixture that you get in the Mama to CEO because you do get the coaching, you get the mindset stuff, and you get tactics, but they're not like, create a 9,000 email sequence with a funnel and clickbait and all that stuff.
Yes, it's like super simple. What's the most effective possible thing?
Yeah.
That's what I'm always thinking.
And is it fun?
Yes, and have fun with it and leave room for magic.
And my answer to that would be the belief scale. That was the most,
yes.
like, if I could just pick one thing. So
Oh yeah.
I would join Mama to CEO just to get in to learn what the belief scale is.
Yes. It's my most favorite tool. All right. So let's go around and let us know where people can find you if they're like, oh, your business is so interesting to me. I want to hire you. I want to learn more about you. Nicole, where can they find you?
You can find everything at shapeitupfitness.com. I have a podcast, Shape It Up Over 40, if you want some tips and not tricks, more mindset stuff. Go dive in and see what you can uncover.
Perfect. Danielle, how about you?
I can be found at danielleteenel.com. And my last name is Thienel, but hopefully you'll just have that in the show notes.
We'll link it.
Yeah, you can find out how everything that you want to know there and to sign up for a free discovery call if you're interested in having one-on-one coaching. I also am the host of the Peaceful Mind podcast, which can be found on all of the podcast hosts. So
great. Suzanne.
You can find me at levelupco.net or email me at suzanne@levelupco.net. I also have a podcast called the Level Up Podcast, which is a common name. So I'm in a bright blue dress. But yeah, that's also on Apple. But yeah, I'd love to help you with your marketing strategy and your VA needs. So thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for your time. for all the wisdom that you shared, for just being amazing clients and community members. I'm just so grateful for all of you and your time today and just your presence in my life and business in general. So thank you all so much. And
Thank
have an
you.
amazing
Thank you
rest
for
of your
creating
day.
Mama
Samantha.
CEO.
Thank you so much, all of you. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com, mamatoceo.com.